We're starting the recording.
I ain't the kind to wear a tie, button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the work can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby, and joining me tonight we have Devin.
Hey,
Devin, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm sick. I've been sick for a while. So pardon me for coughing, everybody. But hey, we got to do what we got to do around here to get these episodes out and on time for all of you. Devin.
Yes.
Tonight we're going to be talking about a game that you just recently started playing more of that I've had that I never really played because no one else played it. So now we can go around whoop ass together. For Honor. So
Yes.
I don't know much about this game. I just started playing it more recently in the last couple days since the last time me and you played it earlier this week. It is from Ubisoft, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I know. We're not huge fans of Ubisoft around here, if you can't tell.
Ubisoft, EA, just not huge fans in general.
I do like a lot of the Ubisoft games. I just don't like their platform, I guess, or whatever. Like I have For Honor on Steam, right?
So do I.
So when
you
I click
have to launch
play,
it till you play.
Yeah, when I click play, it still has to launch Uplay, and I have to go through all that bullshit. And then just to add somebody into, like, if I sent Devin a friend request or an invite to a game, you gotta fucking go into this whole other Ubisoft program just to be able to accept the invite, play the game, so on and so forth. And that's the part I don't particularly care for.
I just don't care for it because Ubisoft can't maintain a server to save their life, and they somehow, for some reason, I don't know why, they put like this assassin story in my pirate game. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Now listen, well, I mean, fair. Well, to be fair, the assassin story came first.
Yeah, but then it was kind of a lead up. I was looking at this as more of a lead up to my pirate game, and then like, oh, here's how I became a pirate, and then it was like, oh, well, now I got to do other assassin stuff, but I'm a pirate now. This is what I do.
Right.
I don't want to be assassin no more. So that's my other complaint.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way with Black Flag. It's like, oh yeah, cool. This is just like all the other, Assassin's Creed games until I got the battleship or the pirate ship.
And that's all you did.
And then I was like, well, you had to do a couple missions. It's like, well, I'm not very good at this. And then, like, you were kind of railroaded for a little while you had the pirate ship, but then you were able to, like, upgrade your pirate ship. Then it just opened right up after like, one particular story session part. It just opened wide. And then it just became, yep, this is no longer Assassin's Creed. I'm going to be a pirate. Still one of, if not my favorite Assassin's Creed games. But anyway, so For Honor was released on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, I believe.
Yes.
So they don't have it on like the earlier PS3 and the Xbox 360.
No, it came out. It just came out last year. Actually,
right.
If we did this last week, it would have been almost. It came out Valentine's Day. So it came out Valentine's Day of last year, 2017.
Nice. So
what better way to say you love somebody than hitting him over the head with an axe?
Right? So, okay. So For Honor, for those of you who still don't know what it is that we're talking about, it's essentially a fighting game. You have three I guess, factions.
Yes, that's what they're called, factions.
You have the Vikings, you have the Knights, and then the Samurai. Now, under each faction are, what, like 6 people? 5 people?
Yes, there's 6. There is, I think, a total of 18 characters, so I think there's 6, yes.
All right. Now, these 6 characters, they also fall under their own classifications.
Yes, there's 4.
There's
4 classifications in the game.
All right, and then like the remaining guys are just specials, I guess.
No, there's 4 classifications that each one of those guys fall into.
Oh, all right.
So there's effectively 4 classes in the game, and then each hero under that class has their own individual little flair and quirks and kinks.
Right. All right. So these classes, I know one of them is the Vanguard, right? That's a class.
Yes, the Vanguard. That's the noob class, so to speak. It's the very first class, the first character you get in all 3 of those. So for the Knights, it's the Warden. For the Vikings, it's the Raider.
I really like the Warden, but I'm not good with them.
The Warden is a really hard class. It's a deceptively... It's hard because it's so simple. Like, all the other classes have something kind of going for it that make it... not necessarily cheesy, but, like, you can work it into your combo. You know what I mean? You can work this into your playstyle. It's kind of like if all else fails, I at least have this particular move I can go to. For instance, the Raider has his charge. You know, he has the charge he can work into. He has those big, he has the changing of the axes so he can get deceptive with range.
Right.
And he has the delayed hit timing on the parries. So if you don't know aren't used to fighting a Raider, his heavies are really slow. They're fast, but they tick really slow.
Right.
So you can't pay attention to the axe per se when you're trying to parry. You got to pay attention more to the bar itself.
Okay.
So you have to do that. So he kind of can, if you cancel and mix them up right, he's really hard to counter. The Kinsei has the second best range in the game.
For those of you who don't know, that's a samurai.
Yes, the Kinsei is effectively a samurai with a giant nodachi. So a giant, like, 2-handed, or I guess it would be an odachi or a nodachi, one of the two. Giant 2-handed. Really, you get like 3 hands on that bad boy, but yeah, 2-handed samurai sword.
Japanese fucking listeners are rolling around in their graves right now.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it right. I know it's an odachi. It's either an odachi or it's a nodachi.
No, I'm talking more about me, because you're sitting there like, is it an odachi? I'm like, it's a fucking 2-handed sword. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, effectively, okay, yes. I mean, so the odachi, a little history lesson, is a large, or it's basically a great sword version of a katana, or an odachi or a nodachi. Katana. Yes, it is, or it translates directly to field sword. They were particularly, if I'm not mistaken, used against. They were used against, I believe, mounted individuals. But that's a sidebar.
That's why they have a really good reach.
Yeah, the reach and heavy. They were used against, those particular swords were used against mounted individuals. Right. But yeah, that's a little history lesson there. There we go. But there you go. So you have the Kinsei, who has really good range in terms of just vertical and horizontal. He's really hard to get around.
Yeah.
If you get in close to him and you try to sidestep him, a lot of his side attacks will still hit you, even if you step to the side opposite or the same side of which he's attacking. He probably will still hit you. He has a deceptively wide and long range, and he can attack while moving to the side.
Right.
So he's able to kind of stick and move, so to speak. The Warden doesn't have really any of that.
Now, what is the Warden technically? Is that a longsword he's using? Because in the story mode, it says he's a master of the longsword, but that's a big fucking sword.
All the weapons in this are greatly over-exaggerated for the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part they are. Yes, that is a that is because so technically, if you want to go back in history, knights used what was called arming swords. Arming swords, because knights predominantly had shields. Arming swords are one-handed swords. A longsword was a two-handed sword, and if you look at this sword, the blade length is exaggerated. The handle length is about right. So I would probably say they blew up the weapon. I would say to maybe 115% of what it should be.
Right.
But that is a longsword, yes.
All right.
That is a longsword. And everything like that. My sidebar, my favorite execution is he throws the pommel.
Yes.
He just unscrews the pommel and throws it in the back of his head. Favorite execution. And actually a real world technique. Knights would throw the pommel in fights.
Yep.
As a damaging and distractionary attack.
Now, out of all these different characters or whatever, are there any other vanguards?
No, the three are the vanguards have the least amount of people. Well, I would say the least. They're tied for the least with the heavies.
All right.
But the vanguard, I don't think they're ever going to add any more vanguards to the game. The vanguards are really meant to be, you're there, they're jack of all trades. You don't really specialize or master in anything. But if you get good with the vanguards, they lay out, for instance, the Kinsei, the Raider, and the Warden, they each lay out the baseline combos for their respective factions. So if you get good with the Kinsei, you can apply the Kinsei's combos, for the most part, to every other Japanese warrior in the game. Outside of a few, like when you get into the hybrids, they get it gets a little dicey. Because their hybrids are specifically designed to be kind of weird in style. But for the most part, those same combos would apply, or the same ideas behind their combos would apply across the board. So if you get, like, for instance, the Warden, though, is the bread and butter. And so if you actually get really good with the Warden, you can pretty much pick up any other class and play them to at least some level of proficiency.
Right. Because
the Warden takes the most skill out of all the vanguards to actually be successful with. So there's that. The next class we would get into would be the next line down would be the heavies.
Yeah.
This is Webby's favorite class.
This is where my favorite character is, even. But let's save him for last.
Well, he is actually the last one to mention.
Oh, all right, good.
He's in the heavies. He's the last one to mention. My favorite heavy, one of my favorite characters, my favorite heavy. The first is the Conqueror. The Conqueror is he's in the knight side.
Yep.
He
shield and a flail.
Shield and a flail. One of my favorite weapons, IRL, is not so much a flail and a stick, but a ball and chain. Like a spike ball and a chain.
Yep,
love it.
Like the little Japanese girl from Kill Bill.
Kill Bill, yes, love it. I love that. I love spike ball and chain weapon. I think it's cool. And I love the way that he comes out with his chain like wrapped around his arm. I think it's really cool. He looks really cool. He is a lot of the heavies have two styles. Either you have to play your heavy very patiently. So the Conqueror is a very patient play. He's very reactive. You're going to get the most out of the Conqueror as a reactive player from what I've experienced and seen people play. You get the most out of him you can go on the offense with him, but you get the most out of him with kind of like ice in your veins, sitting back, reacting to the attacks, creating an opening, and then taking advantage of the opening. That's how you're going to get the most out of him. Then you have the Warlord. I suck with the Warlord.
Yeah, me too. I tried.
I hate him. I can do all right with him, but I'm not good. He's
honestly,
probably
based off looks, I was really surprised that the Warlord was considered the heavy in the Vikings.
He looks smaller than the Raider.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he is the most heavily armored Viking.
Right.
So I will go with that. He is the most heavily armored Viking. So the Warlord,
I suck with him.
Me too.
Carries a shield
He's also a counterattacker. He's also a counterattacker in the sense that you should wait for the enemy to attack, right, and then kind of take advantage of that. But I don't really like him. I don't like his combos. His combos to me don't make sense. I don't like the Warlord. I'm sure there's people out there that love the Warlord and play him to death. And you know what? Good on you. He's like my bottom 3 in terms of actual playability for me.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I'm gonna let Webby do the introduction.
The Shigoki, man, this guy looking at them, you have this. If you look at a list of characters from this game, right? They're all like these massive, muscled guys, or these some of the assassins get into it. Like they're like small and petite and like really fast. But like even for the heavies, like you got the Warlord. He's the big, muscular dude covered in armor, big Viking guy, right? Conqueror, same thing, big muscular dude in knight's armor. The Shigoki, big motherfucking fat guy, carries a big stick. Love this guy.
Otherwise known as a Kanabo. He carries a Kanabo.
Yep. I love this guy. I just found out yesterday, you had told me about it, but I didn't know how to do it, and I just pulled it off yesterday. This guy, you can do shove attacks in this game. So if somebody's blocking, you do a shove attack, and it breaks the block if you're successful. This guy has a shove attack where you shove him and you continue to shove him until you get pissed off enough. You just pick the guy up over your shoulder and you just squeeze and break their spine. It's like it's an instant kill. It's fucked up. I love it. This guy, I have like 3 people that I have a hard time going versus with this particular character. Otherwise, the rest of them, I just swing that fucking Kanabo around like a baseball bat and just take heads off.
The Shigoki is the beefiest of all the tanks. He has the highest health. And the thing about the Shigoki that makes him so hard to fight is if you both initiate an attack at the same time, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And the reasoning why is because he can tank through about 80% of the attacks in the game. Like they don't like heavy attacks usually stun.
Right.
If you hit somebody with a heavy attack, or even any attack really, they'll stop. Momentum swing. Like if you hit somebody in the middle of a light attack and they're doing like an unblockable, it'll go through. The Shigoki, even his heavy attacks, if you hit him with a light attack or a heavy attack, I think a light attack will never stun. I think a heavy attack will sometimes stun him. There are certain heavy attacks that I have stunned the Shigoki with, but usually he just goes straight through. So and he hits harder than you, I guarantee it.
And he does quite a good amount of damage to you, even if you block or parry him.
Yeah. Well, you have to. Well, parry.
Well, not parry. If you have to block him for him to do
if
damage.
you block him, if you time your parry, like the only way really to beat a good Shigoki is with timed parries. Because you can parry the shit out of him, and then he's kind of screwed because his attacks are super telegraphed. Like they're super telegraphed. Like you know when he's going to attack you. Like he has no surprise attacks. Like you see him like the bat's laying on his left side, and he's taking this giant baseball bat swing at you. Like you see it coming.
Oh yeah,
but it's a matter of can I actually do anything about it?
And see, like I've gotten to the point with this guy as this character where I feel comfortable. Especially in like, what is it, Dominion? We'll get into the different game styles, but the one where you have to capture the points, I think that's Dominion.
Dominion, yep.
I've gotten comfortable to where I can both go from point to point and try to take people out systematically, or if I want to play defensively, I can just go to, say, point A, take it, and sit there. And anybody who comes my way dies. Like they're not going to survive. They have to double team me or better to get me off of a point. I very much love this character.
The Shigoki's dope. I love the Shigoki.
Like I said, there are a couple characters, and we'll get there, that I just, if I see them coming, I know it's going to be a bad day. Like they're too fast, or, and I mean, it's kind of hard. I love his finisher though, because like when you hit somebody, if you kill them with a heavy attack, you get the option of doing 2 different finishers, right? So one of the finishers I have for this guy is I low blow them with the weapon, with the giant fucking baseball bat club, right? Which makes them bend over, and then I grab them by the back of the head, and I pretty much essentially belly bump their face into my stomach, which is just a big solid piece of wood armor, and it crushes their skull and kills them. I love it. I'm saving up my currency, the steel or whatever in the game. I want to get the other one that I saw was you knock the person down and then you just sit on them and it crushes them. I want that one next. It's my favorite.
Nice.
But anyway, so that was the Shigoki.
Yes.
I love playing him.
He's fun. He's the funnest. He is the funnest heavy for me. I enjoy the Conqueror more. But in terms of just like, if I just want to have fun, the Shigoki is my go-to fun. Because like, even if I die as a Shigoki, I don't get mad. Like, I'm just like, it happened. Like, whatever. Like, I had a lot of fun. I was playing a match earlier where I was the Warden. Yeah, I was the Warden, and I was going up against Shigoki, and I swung, he swung. I tried to counter, and I tried to cancel and counter, and I just timed it wrong, and his baseball bat went right into my head, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. It's over. Like, I don't even mind losing to a Shigoki. There was a match earlier I had that was like super intense. It went 2-2. I was the Raider because I don't want to say my favorite, but my favorite right now is the Raider, the Vanguard Viking. I like him. I think he's just all around good. You kind of can mix up combos and things with him, and it's fun. And I kind of know all his combos, so he's a lot of fun. I like him. But next, we're getting into the Assassin.
Wait, hold on.
Yep.
Before we leave the Shigoki, a little bit of trivia here, right?
Okay.
So apparently, unlike the Kensei and the Orochi, which we're going to be talking about in this next class here, the mask of the Shigoki is not what is considered a Mempo mask, which covers from face to nose. It covers the face from nose to chin, rather, and leaves your eyes open. But it's called a Somen, which covers the entire face. And Shigoki translates to guardian demon in Japanese. That's all I gotta say.
So you playing him right, sitting on a point, guarding the point is what you should be doing.
Yep.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Go ahead. Next class.
All right. Next one's up is the Assassin. First in the Assassin order is the freaking Peacekeeper, which is the chick. She has two swords. She looks kind of like one of the assassins from Assassin's Creed, going back to Ubisoft and their Assassin's Creed game. I feel if you master her,
she looks like the typical D&D rogue.
Yes, and she kind of fights like the typical D&D rogue, mixed with a little bit of ranger. But the thing about her is the Peacekeeper. I like the Peacekeeper. I one of the hardest classes, even though it says medium. I think she's one of the harder classes to master because the Assassins have one problem. So the biggest issue with the Assassins is they're made for swift. They're made to attack a lot and really, really fast, really hard, and just kill people immediately because the Assassins lose the sustained fight. Like, if you get in, let's say, an Assassin and a Vanguard, or an Assassin and a Hybrid get involved, and the Hybrid is the last class we're going to talk about in a second, they get involved into, like, a longer kind of trading back and forth hits, the Assassin will lose almost all the time. Because on a hit-for-hit basis, the Assassin can't really block. Because the Assassins will be... So, in this game, when you block, you have three directions. You can block up, left, or right. When you block, and you kind of just flick the mouse or flick the joystick in which direction you want, in other classes, you kind of can sit in one stance. The Assassins can't do that. When you flick it, it's, I think, a 1 second timer.
Yeah.
So any attack that comes in at 1 second will be blocked. But if you time it wrong, and you block one way, or they're too fast, you don't have time to move over, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit a lot. So the only way to really master an Assassin is to have mastered parries.
I was going to say, if you're really good at parries, I think you'd make a really good Assassin.
Yes, if you're good at parries, because that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to parry, create an opening, and then once they started attacking you, just start wailing on you. I am good with I'm good with one, and I'm all right with another of the Assassins. And I think there are there some gladiators who can block? No, the gladiator can't block. He has to do the thing too. I forgot about that. They do have the least defense. So running through the Peacekeeper, two swords. Sword and dagger. Her dagger can make you bleed, which basically is damage over time. She's in the knight class. She's under the knights. That's true. There's not too much to say about her. She fights quick. She fights fast. She's able to really get, block quickly. And she's able to. That's the one thing about her out of all the other ones. She can initiate a block because she has 2 blades really quick. So if you attack her from left or right, where other characters have to actually move their weapon over, she doesn't have to. So if you attack her from the right, she has that extra. She doesn't have to do the animation of moving her weapon over to block. She actually can block at the last second quicker than most people.
Yep.
And I think it's really cool that they took the time to think about that in the game and gave that to her as an advantage. She has 2 weapons, so she can do that. Or this guy has a shield, he can do that. So it's pretty cool. The next one is the Berserker. The Berserker also has 2 weapons, has 2 axes. I'm not good with the Berserker.
I'm not either.
I know people who are, and they're great. Really good. I do like the ability to throw axes because you can get people who are trying to run away or you're in a fight and you really don't want to get involved. You can back off and chuck an axe at somebody's face and kill them. I've done that a few times. It's fun. Not really much to say here about the Berserker. He hops in. Out of all the classes here played, the Assassins are my least knowledgeable, except for one specifically. But, the Berserker's basically, he has a couple of his combos, I think, can infinite chain. So just kind of rain down chain, hits after hit after hit after hit after hit. And he's meant to kind of just, hit you from all angles really quickly, like a Berserker, and just kind of take you off guard. That's the whole point, hence the name. Next, you have the Orochi. The Orochi is an asshole. I hate the Orochi. If you fight a good Orochi, you're in trouble. If they know how to parry, you're in trouble. Because the Orochi specifically has a couple attacks that utilize, what is it, Liato? Or Iato? Basically, sheathing and unsheathing the sword. He has a couple of them that do that extend his range further than you would think. So if you're not careful, he's there. And the Orochi uses a standard katana. The standard, katana you'd see in every other fashion. So, if you had to say, I would say the Orochi is closer to an actual samurai in terms of look and feel, but it's kind of like, basically, Orochi is a mix between your historical ninja and your samurai.
Yeah.
They kind of move really quickly. They attack real fast. They, in and out. They're really good at counterattacking. And they can, and the biggest thing with them is they take and that's why I said the Vanguard classes build on these. So they take what the Kinsei did, where he can dodge and swing at the same time, and they made it way better. So the Orochi's able to do a full almost a 180. So he can start in front of you and spin to almost directly behind you and attack you in the same motion. So if you're not careful, it's a pain in the ass to fight the Orochi. I don't like it. I just lost the one a second ago. That was luckily I came back in the end 3-2, but not fun. Now the next one is the one that is the only assassin I'm actually pretty decent with, and that's the Shinobi. The Shinobi uses, again, we get back to my favorite weapons. I think I have a thing for chain and ball and chain or ball and
anything's connected to a chain.
Yes, pretty much. I love chains as weapons. So he uses a Kasarigama. Now he uses a different kind of Kasarigama. He uses 2 Kasarigamas. So usually Kasarigamas are a length of chain with a sickle on one end and an iron ball on the other end, or an iron counterweight on the other end of some kind. He uses, I think he has the chain wrapped around, or he uses 2, or he uses a longer length of chain with sickles on both ends, one of the 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I really like the Shinobi, and if he's one of those people I'm good with, but I'm always better than I think I am with him. I know his combos, but then if I don't think about his combos, I can pull his combos off in combat and do really well. I like the Shinobi. I think he's very versatile. He has a really good long range attack that you kind of can stay away and keep people at bay with. But then at the same time with that range, he kind of can scorpion you and pull you into him for a big attack. So he has a lot of cool things. I like the Shinobi a lot. I think he's very agile. He gets the smoke bomb disappearing. He can pop it behind you.
I was gonna say he kind of reminds you a lot of the stereotype of a ninja.
Yeah, that's why I said the Orochi was the historical ninja.
Right, yeah.
The real life historical ninjas. the shinobi is more of a anime-esque or a very fantasy-esque ninja, where he can like really fast disappear kind of thing. Really cool though. The shinobi, one of the biggest things about him is, I think in terms of all of the assassins outside of the Peacekeeper, I think he's one of the easiest ones to pick up. His combos are kind of intuitive, like you kind of can realize, and kind of work in the chains, like, oh, okay, this changed into this, just changed into this, got it, okay. For me, at least for me, it was, and that's coming from me. I don't play too much of the samurai classes often. They're probably my least played classes outside of. First is for me, it's probably Viking, and then it's Knight, and then it's they're probably my least played.
I will tell you right now, they are my most played because I only ever play the Shigoki.
Yeah,
I've branched out, but yeah, Shigoki is definitely my highest level character so far.
Yeah. And a little nod back, I guess, to the shinobi is that they gave him a Kasaragama. They gave him a Kasaragama because, historically speaking, ninjas were basically trained peasants who would fight the noble samurai. Mm-hmm. And peasants had, they had these sickles, and that's what they used to work the fields, to work the rice paddies in the fields. So they weaponized those, hence the Kasaragama, and here we are today. So, little history fact built into this SU. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew all my Eastern history and all my Eastern history liking would pay off?
Yep.
At some point. Gladiators. Next to the gladiators. Gladiators, honestly, for me, it's weird because I don't look at the gladiator as an assassin. I look at him more as a hybrid, but he is very much an assassin. He's considered an assassin class? Yes, he is. Oh, wow. He has the greatest stamina in the game in terms of stamina moderation. Like, his attacks take like no stamina at all. He's able to kind of wear you down just off attacks. He also has the longest hit combo in the game without being an unlimited chain combo. For instance, he has, I think one of his basic combos is a 5-hit combo. It's light, heavy. It's a 5-hit combo if you hit all 5. But yeah, I mean, it's, he has that going for him. I like him. I have two problems. Two of my classes I like a lot. I wish the gladiator in the Valkyrie would switch movesets. Because the gladiator has a trident and he stabs a lot, and the Valkyrie in the next one we'll talk about, she has a spear, but she swings it and like slices with it a lot more than I want her to. So every time I think I'm doing a stab, I do a swing and it screws me up.
Right.
But other than that, or like I envision a stab, like, oh, a stab here would be great, and then I go do a stab and like, oh, I swung, like, damn it. All right. But that's just me. I'm not together. The Valkyrie's one of my favorite classes, though. So there's that. We get to the Valkyrie in a second. The Gladiator gets... Now, in my opinion, one of the easier... If you can do it, the Gladiator... If you get good with the Gladiator, I think he's really good at fighting other assassins. I think he's like the anti-assassin. Because his attacks are so quick, and he can do them in such fluidity.
Yeah.
That he... Without having a permanent guard up, you're in trouble. And I think he can. I think he definitely can be like the anti-assassin if used properly. Last is not least is the shaman. There's a lot of assassins in this game, and a lot of hybrids. Last but not least is the shaman. The shaman. I haven't played a lot of the shaman. I do like the shaman. She falls into the Valkyrie. She's kind of a savage warrior. She runs around. She fights with like I think an axe and like a stone club or something like that. Let me see. She fights with a hatchet and dagger. There we go.
Yeah.
She fights with an axe and a dagger, and I like her a lot. She's.
Oh, she gets a bear trap too.
She gets the bear. Yeah, a lot of them. She gets the bear trap. She's primarily close range. You want to keep your enemy in close with her. She does have a cool thing though. If you draw blood, you can pounce and get a neck bite. Bite him in the neck, which I do love. If you finish somebody off with a neck bite, because it looks more brutal than some of the finishers. Just like, oh wow, she just bit a chunk out of this dude's neck and killed him. That's nice.
I will say this is one of the classes
That interest you?
No, that when I'm playing the Shigoki, if I don't see a shaman coming and she gets a hit off, I'm dead. She'll put me right in the corner and she'll just take me out. If I see her coming, as long as I can get a hit off, I can usually end up killing them. But they end up taking quite a bit of my life away. Like, they're fast. I don't like them.
Yeah, I have one class. I have two classes, and they both fall in this next category that I can't fight. Like, I can't fight them. They're my bane of my existence. I can't fight them. And
We're
there we
talk
go.
About hybrids next.
Yes, hybrids are next. The hybrids are next. The first hybrid I'm going to mention is on the night side. It's my roommate's best character, the Lawbringer. The Lawbringer is... I don't have a lot of experience with the Lawbringer. I'm not even going to lie. Outside of the story mode, I've played the Lawbringer I think 2 or 3 times. I know they're really good. If you get good with them, they're really good. They're great counterattackers. They can keep you off balance with like charging, spear rushing attacks. They're a good mix. And see, also bouncing back here to a lot of the hybrids. So hybrids kind of blend, like their name suggests, 2 styles together. But think about hybrids. They're really hard to predict. So if you're fighting a hybrid, you got to be extra careful. And if you fight someone who's a hybrid specialist, you got to be careful because they're really hard to predict. And they usually have a couple of really good, like 2 or 3 really good attributes in terms of like, oh, their speed's really good, their block speed's really good, their countering's really good. They have like a couple of good attributes, but then they'll have like a really glaring weakness that you have to almost exploit that weakness to beat them if you're fighting a good one. Like, right. If you fight a good hybrid, the only way to beat them is to exploit the weakness of the character. And a lot of hybrids, ironically enough, are labeled hard because they're hard characters to master. They have a high skill ceiling, but they are efficient across all game modes. So, good characters to pick. I would say start with if you want to go into a hybrid, I'd say start with a Vanguard, get good with a Vanguard, and then move into a hybrid. If you want to do that, ignore the assassins, ignore the heavies, because the 2 classes you're going to feel the most similar are going to be a hybrid straight into a Vanguard. Like for instance, if you wanted to master the Lawbringer, I would go move right from the Warden into the Lawbringer. If you want to dabble around like between the Warden and the Raider to kind of get a feel for the axe and the range of the axe, I do that and then jump right into the Lawbringer. I think you're going to get a better feel for the character than you kind of like muddying and weighing down with the other classes in the middle, with the heavies and the assassins, because they play differently, totally differently. Yep. The next one is the Valkyrie. I love the Valkyrie.
I suck so bad with the Valkyrie.
I suck. I don't suck with the Valkyrie. I'm not great with the Valkyrie. I probably would say she's like one of my mid-tier characters. I wouldn't put her in my top 3. Wouldn't put her in my bottom 3. I would put her closer to my top than my bottom in terms of characters I use and am good with. But I would not put her in my top 3. I like the Valkyrie. I want to get good with the Valkyrie. She's she's on my short list of characters I want to master or get good with.
I would love to be really good with the Valkyrie, but I suck so bad that it's very discouraging.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard. Again, because she has a lot of her attacks where, like, I want to stab, and it's a slash, and I'm like, damn it. But, that's on me. That's on me. Next one, I'm going to run through these. Next one is the Nobushi. The Nobushi is kind of... I like the Nobushi. I'm not bad with the Nobushi, but I will say this. In terms of Nobushi combat, for me, it's hit or miss. So that tells me a lot of it is luck, more so than skill. Like, I know the combos. I just need to chain them together to get off what I need. If I can properly tame myself down and like control myself, I can usually pull off an okay match with the Nobushi. But yeah, the Nobushi is another one that can bleed. One of the things about the Nobushi, they have they have the best attack range. So you can keep people at bay. That's another good class to fight against especially if you could predict the assassins. Most of the assassins have like a kind of a lunging attack. If you can predict the lunge, the Nobushi can keep the assassins at bay because they can just stay out of their range.
This class is one of the classes I had mentioned earlier that I just have such a hard time with when I'm playing my character, the Shigoki there. I have such a hard time against Nobushis. Like,
the problem is with you're a big target for the Nobushi.
Right.
You're a really big target because her blade, she's really tiny and her blade is like, not very big. And she has at a good range from you, so she just kind of like pokes you to death.
Right. And she's faster than I am too. So it's messed up.
Yeah, she's kind of a mix of assassin and vanguard. The Valkyrie is a mix of heavy and assassin. The Lawbringer is a mix of heavy and vanguard. So you kind of can run through. So run through. It's like it just tells you here. So I guess you could say like the vanguard. So if you want to get good with the Lawbringer, play some vanguard, play some Crusader, then go right into Lawbringer. If you want to get good with the Valkyrie, play some, heavy. So play some. Who's the fucking heavy for the fucking.
The fucking
Raiders.
The Warlord.
Yeah, guy we don't like.
Yeah.
But if you want to get you want to get good with the Valkyrie, play some Warlord. Learn the Warlord's combos. Learn the combos, and then kind of mix them together. You'll get the Valkyrie. No, sorry. Heavy and assassin. So ignore the Vanguard. Who's the so play some Berserker.
Berserker, yeah.
Play some Berserker and some that in there, and there you go. Nobushi, assassin, Vanguard. So that'd be the Orochi, and the Shinobi, the Orochi and the Shinobi.
Yeah,
I'd probably say the Shinobi over the Orochi for the Nobushi, and then Vanguard, so the Kensei. So play the Kensei and learn some Orochi or learn some Shinobi, and you'll be okay for the Nobushi. The next one I'm getting to is the fucking Centurion. I don't hate fighting the Centurion, but the Centurion is fucking cheese. No, because he's cheese. He has one move. He sucks. He completely sucks. But he has one fucking move that's all cheese. He punches you. The problem with it is he punches you. Every time he hits you, it takes like a third of your stamina. So if he gets you against a wall, he'll infinitely punch you and take all your stamina away. I fought a guy yesterday that's all he played, and that's literally was his only combo. If he didn't get me against a wall, I won every match. If he got me against a wall, all he did would stun me, punch me, drain my stamina, and then proceed to wail on me. And then if I blocked all his other ones, if I started blocking him again, he would stun me, punch me, drain my stamina, and then rinse and repeat. That's the only way he beat me. So the Centurion, I don't care about fighting a Centurion. Just don't get back into a corner against a Centurion because you're going to lose if they cheese. If they do the bullshit cheese, punch stamina drain.
See, I'm really surprised I haven't run into that problem with my guy, because that's one thing I got to say about playing the Shigoki, if nothing else, is moderate your stamina usage. Like, if you find yourself out of stamina, you're doing way too many heavy attacks. Or you're trying to do them too many in succession. Like, get a couple good hits, like get 2 good hits on somebody, back away, regain your stamina, go back in. I've yet to really... I haven't noticed this guy sapping my stamina. I probably just end up fucking wailing on him, because, like, literally 2 good heavy swings from a Shigoki usually kills most of these people. Like, it's pretty rugged. He hits like a truck.
He does. He does.
But yeah, that's Centurion. I mean, I really hope I don't ever have to come across that part where he just saps my stamina, because that's with no stamina, you're not going to do much of anything. Yeah,
no stamina, you get slow and clunky. Not only in the Shigoki's already the slowest and clunkiest in the games, he gets even more slow and clunky, which is terrifying. But if you're parried, the biggest thing about that, if you're parried when you're low on stamina, it knocks you down automatically. So you get grounded, and they can do like basically any number of attacks on you while you're trying to get back up, and it's not good. The next one is the fucking Highlander.
This is the second of my list of mainly... I have 3 characters that I'm not good against. This is probably the second one.
I have 2 characters I'm not good against. Two. Specifically 2. And they're both on this fucking list, and I'm about to say them right now who they are. Every other character, like... And it's not like... So, I can lose to any character in the game, but usually that's skill. If I come up against a Highlander in this next class, 90% of the time I'm going to lose.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. For me, it's the Highlander, the next class that you're going to say, and the Nobushi. Those are the three that I have a hard time with. I think the Nobushi, it's more so, it's really 50-50. It's if I'm going up against a skilled one, then sure. Otherwise, I can wreck them sometimes. Especially if I get the first hit, they're done. Yeah, like for me, the Highlander, I feel like, I don't know. This motherfucker blocks way too fast for using the sword that he does.
He blocks way too fast. He fucking switches combat style mid-attack. He gets like these bullshit heavies that are way, like, every other attack is like shorter range for him. Then the next thing you know, when he switches styles, this fucking heavy comes out that just reaches like the furthest distance of anything in life. It goes, and he has so many unblockables. Like, I feel like every one of his combos end with an unblockable. I'm like, okay, this guy, I can beat him. I can beat him, but it's every single fight with the Highlander, I'm pissed off the entire fight.
Yep.
I'm pissed off. I hate it. And the next guy, I don't even try to fight him.
No,
there's no point.
This motherfucker, I call him Weird Hat Dude. Okay? I don't like this guy. This guy, like...
The Aramusha.
Dude, I played one match where I killed him. I think it was a fluke. And then the motherfucker, I don't know what it was, he just singled me out. Like, he was just hunting me the rest of the time. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the Aramusha is bullshit. He uses, like, 2 samurai swords. He's really quick. He gets in. But because, again, like the assassin with a chick with the 2 swords on the knight side, because he has 2 swords, he can
the peacekeeper?
He can block quickly on both sides, really quickly on both sides. And he's just very counterintuitive. I don't like him.
Yeah, no.
I do not like fighting him. And he's a mix of like a heavy and an assassin. He fights like a heavy and assassin. He fights like a heavier Orochi, but can somehow do more attacks. I don't like it. I hate him. He's my most hated class in the game to fight. I hate using him. I hate him.
I will say one thing.
The Aramusha.
I will say one thing. I do appreciate that when I do fight against one and I manage to get it like a killing blow, it knocks that dumbass hat off his head.
Yes. Yes. Actually, you can knock the hat off without actually killing him.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think if you run out of stamina and you ground him, you can knock the hat off him too. But the fucking Highlander, I just oh my god, like
he's I will say the Highlander is the one guy I always want to try to keep distance between me and him. Like
I don't like him. I hate everything about him. He can go straight to hell. Fucking him and William Wallace can go straight to fucking hell.
What, you don't like his kilt? Come on now.
I don't fuck that kilt.
His big ass fucking like 9 foot long fucking claymore that he carries around with him.
Yeah, that he somehow can just wield like it's fucking nothing. Like, I'm just gonna wield this giant fucking sword. Don't mind me, buddy.
Yeah, no joke.
All right, whatever, homie.
And then even when you're double teaming this guy,
he still like kills you.
He's blocking everything from both people. It's like, how are you doing that with that big ass sword, you dick?
I hate him so much.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I hate him so much. I hate him. The Aramusha I hate because I feel like I just can't get a hit off. Like I feel like if he hits me once, it's just going to keep happening, and I can't stop it because he's one of those characters that there are characters in this game that have unlimited combos.
Right.
If you keep hitting, if you keep landing the hits, the combos just keep rolling.
So those are all the classes, bullshit. Right?
Yes, they went through all the classes, the classes, and all the heroes in each classes.
So. The last thing we really should touch upon on this are the different multiplayer modes, I guess, in this. So we've already kind of briefly talked about Dominion. So Dominion, what it is it's a 4 versus 4 multiplayer mode where it's essentially capture the flag or capture the point. You have points A, B, and C on any given map, and then now all the while you're 4v4, there's in whatever the middle zone happens to be. I don't know if it's always B, but the middle zone usually has a bunch of small soldiers, like your team's soldiers, and they're skirmishing in the center. Now, obviously, holding zones will get you points. Killing enemies will get you points. Important thing to note here, if you capture a zone and you immediately leave it, you earn less points than if you actually stay in the zone. Like, while you're staying in the zone, though not always optimal to do so, because sometimes, they're ganging up on other zones and you gotta go help. If you're actually standing in the zone, you're getting bonus points every second for standing in the zone. So you're getting your score to tally up faster. And essentially, once you reach, I think it's 1,000 points, the other team will do what's called a break. They're starting to break, and then when you're into this particular zone, like when you're at that point, all you have to do is kill the other four enemy players. Because up to that point, if you die, you can be revived, or after a certain amount of seconds, you can respawn and rejoin the fight. If you're on the breaking point, once you get downed, the only way you can get back up is if your allied teammate revives.
Rallies.
Or
they rally and then you can start reviving again.
Right. Dominion is probably my favorite of it. Of the matchmakers or whatever.
It's also the only game mode, well, any 4v4, but it's also one of the only game modes where your equipment matters. So you can customize your characters in this. You can change gender on most of the classes, change outfits, things like that. And there's different stats that each one assigns. Nothing like crazy like attack or defense. But there's like, this will raise your damage, this will raise your defense, this will raise your defense penetration. This will lower, and there's something called revenge mode where it's basically designed to, if you get outnumbered, and you can hold yourself off long enough, you basically get imbued and all your stats shoot up. You take less damage. You start powering through attacks. It gives you the ability to fight off.
Right.
Kind of in a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 situation. It gives you the ability to kind of rally back. But it works to a degree, but not really. It depends on how good you are to begin with. But yeah. It's also the only game mode. So like, equipment doesn't matter in Duel, doesn't matter in Brawl, which is all stuff we will get to.
Now, why doesn't it matter in those?
Just to make things fair. So, like, if you get matched up, like, you're a newbie in the game, and you get matched up against a guy who has, like, a level 50 character or whatever, it would be really unfair if he walked in and just based off equipment alone, he's doing, like, 2 light attacks, is taking, like, a 30 of your health. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they just kind of neutralize those. But, I mean, in Dominion, it's kind of like, you don't actually have to kill people to win if you don't want, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can work with your team. You don't actually have to do well to, like, a Brawl or Duel, the only way to win is to, Brawl, do an elimination, the only way to win is to kill.
Yeah.
In Dominion, you don't actually have to kill people to win, except really at the end. You can kind of cap a point. If you can get them off a point without killing them, you can. So, or you work with your team to kind of get them off the point and help kill. And then, so that's why.
All right.
It's kind of a balancing thing. It makes sense.
Well, you mentioned the next couple of them. There you have Brawl, which is a 2v2 multiplayer mode where you just have to eliminate the enemy team. Dueling is a 1v1, obviously. Elimination is
4v4.
Yeah, 4v4, and then is this the one where you have to get points for killing them?
This is elimination is 4v4 single life-ish.
Okay.
It's a fight to the death from start to finish, but you can technically revive people.
Right.
So that's why in elimination, the biggest thing is if you're going to play it, the biggest thing in elimination is assassinations. Or executions, I mean.
Yeah.
So when you execute somebody, they can't be revived.
They can't be revived. Gotcha. All right.
Right. Because elimination, even though it's elimination, like single life kind of a deal, they can still get revived. So if you kill, it's 2-on-1, and he can escape you and rev a teammate, then
right.
Now it's 2-on-2 again.
Skirmish is the one I was just thinking of. Skirmish is 4v4, where if you die, you get back up and you join the fight again. And every time you kill one of the other players, you gain points. And then, kind of like in Dominion, once you reach a certain point number, that enemy team will start to break, and all you have to do is kill their enemy team one more time, and you win the match. The last one I know nothing about because I've yet to play it, and that's Tribute.
Tribute is Capture the flag. So it is it's three neutral flag, capture the flag.
Okay.
And the way it works is, so you have 3 points on the map. You have, I think, one's a speed boost, one's a speed point, one's a attack point, and one's a defense point. So you grab these flags, and if you get hit while you have the flag, you drop the flag. But you grab the flag, run back, drop the flag into your point. While you're in that point, your team gets a bonus based on what the totem is. There's 3 totems you can drop a flag into on each side. So each team has 3 totems. And the objective is very much the same thing. You know, if you capture all 3, you either can play until time runs out, or if you capture all 3 and hold all 3 for, I think, 45 seconds, you win. So if like you flag rush, grab all the flags, and kill the whole enemy team, rush back, drop your flags, and you hold all of them, and they can't uncap one of the flags, in 45 seconds, you win. It's a really fun game, so it's kind of like a mix of Dominion and Elimination.
Okay.
In that sense, but it's fun. I was playing some earlier on my friend's Xbox. It's fun.
And then the last thing I have listed here is something that I'm hoping you know something about, because I know nothing about it as well. And that's the overall arcing the faction war thing.
Yes.
What is this all about?
So remember when you first joined the game way back then, they asked you to pledge a faction.
Yeah.
You can change it anytime.
Okay.
But you pledge a faction. Basically, every match you win, every game you win, every game you lose, it drops a token in the faction war. And basically, it's kind of like seasons in Diablo. Every season it resets.
Okay.
And basically, depending on like first, second, and third place faction, you get a reward for it. You know what I mean? You get a reward. So if you contributed, I think the way it is if totally you get this, and at the end of the faction war, everyone pledging that faction gets this. And then you get like a personal contribution bonus, I believe. So you get some extra bonus points and things like that. So that's how it's played.
Is this something that would be more beneficial? Like, say you and I are playing this like more often together. Say we get into this game, for us to be of the same faction, or is that literally just a drop in a bucket? It's not going to matter one way or the other.
It's kind of a drop in the bucket. I don't think it's to a point where it really drops into the overall.
Okay.
So each season is broken up into 5 rounds. So whoever takes the most rounds out of that is the one who takes the win. So to give you an idea how it works, Faction War is a persistent cross-platform conflict between all 3 factions, Viking, Knights, and Samurai. It's a reason players are asked to pick a faction at the beginning of the game. All players and bot activity during gameplay, with the exception of practice modes and campaign, determine the outcome of the faction war. A full season in For Honor lasts 10 weeks, with each round lasting 2 weeks each, for a total of 5 rounds per season. The faction war map is updated every 6 hours. During the season, players who will do battle and earn experience, rewards, steel, and war assets. The map they play on will be determined by the current territory domination, and at the end of the season, the territories will be reset and faction visitors removed. There will be an off-season period before the next season begins. Once the season is over, players will get rewarded based on the rank of their faction at that time.
Okay. Now, what faction are you?
Right now I'm Pledge Viking.
Oh, me too. I know I got the crow icon.
Yep, I'm Pledge Viking right now. So season 1, the Vikings won season 1. They won round 1. They lost round 2 and round 3 to the Samurai. So it was a close game. They were up 1 and they lost 2, and then they came back in the end and won round 4 and round 5. Season 1. So season 1 went to the Vikings. Season 2 went to the Samurai. The Knights won their first round of season 1. The Samurai won the second round. The Knights won the third round. The Samurai won the fourth round. And the Vikings actually won the 5th round. But I guess it was a total point added up between the 2 Samurai and the Knights, and the Samurais took it over the Knights.
Now, it is important to note for anybody listening who wants to get this game or try this game out, the faction thing that we're talking about, just because, like me and Devin, we both pledged Vikings, I play a Samurai as my main, does not matter.
No, not at all.
Everything that I play, it doesn't matter if you're playing a Knight, a Samurai, or a Viking, it goes towards whichever one you pledge. So...
yeah, exactly. So
That's good.
season
So
3,
me and you are working together. We're working.
we are. We're the same person. Season 3, the Knights won season 3. So actually this season, last season, so the Vikings won season 1, the Samurai won season 2, Knights won season 3. First round went to Knights, second round went to Knights, third round went to Samurai, fourth round and fifth round both went to Knights, so they kind of swept that. And then the Vikings got pissed because they didn't get a single win in season 3 and came back and won the first 2 rounds, lost the third round to Knights, and won the last 2 rounds in season 4.
So the Vikings almost swept season 4 then.
Yes, so the Knights almost swept season 3, the Vikings almost swept season 4.
So now, what season are they on now?
They just started season 5, and the the Vikings are the only people who have won it twice so far. They won season 1 and season 4.
Okay.
And as of right now in the game, they are currently behind the Samurai by 5 points.
Okay.
So they are right now in season 5, 16 points for the Knights, 33 points for the Vikings, and 38 points for the Samurai.
Right on. And I do like and I appreciate the fact that, like in the Dominion matches, which are my favorite, even for those of you who don't necessarily want to go against actual people, say you just don't think you're good enough, or you get very discouraged when you get your ass handed to you repetitively, you can go against AI. The AI is actually good. The AI is actually very good.
And actually, if you go in custom game, you can turn the bots up even harder.
But I do like how even playing Dominion against AI still gets you the ability to work towards your faction.
Yes, it does outside of custom game. So if you go into a custom game and make it you, like bots, you are the only real player with 3 other bots, or you can turn off matchmaking. So you can do all bots. If you turn off matchmaking, I don't think it works. I don't think it counts if you turn off matchmaking completely. But if it's you and 3 other people versus 4 bots, it's fair game.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's all I got for Honor. Devin, is there anything else that I may have missed or that we didn't really cover?
No, I think we got it.
I do like how on some of the maps there are different interactable things that you can do, or like I know one of them, there's you can pull a lever and it'll like make like a bridge fall out from underneath itself, like a trap door. So if an enemy is running towards you, you can swing the trap door in time and they'll fall to their death. There are little pits and stuff throughout the map where you can pretty much essentially shove somebody off of the map for like a nice, quick, easy kill.
Yep. If you do it in a duel, it's quite bitchly. It is the bitchiest of moves.
Yeah, is it?
If you do it in a duel, it is. Like I remember, this guy beat me twice. We were both raiders. I beat him twice, I beat him twice, or he beat me twice. I came back and beat him twice because I learned how he fought. In the last round, I started off near a cliff. He just charged me, picked me up, and threw me off the cliff. It's like, I win. Like, and then he immediately quit out the match. I was like, you are.
So yeah, I mean, this is For Honor, everybody. Like I said, I got this game when it first came out. It was a long time ago. I know that.
Yeah, it was last year. I was super psyched when this game first came out. I was like, oh, I got to get this game. And this is back when I was playing on console still. I wanted to get it. I had a PC, but it wasn't like super gamey PC. It could play some stuff. Right. It could play this. This game's not very intensive. Even right now, my PC is... My CPU's higher end, but my graphics card mid-range, and I can max out this game with no problem. Right. You know, I max it out, and I think last time I checked, I was pulling like over 120 frames. Yeah. In most situations, this game is it's a good-looking game, but it's not a lot to it.
I run 60 FPS essentially the entire time I play this.
Yeah. Like I didn't lock mine. It might be locked because I have a thing that does like a real count. But yeah. I think it's locked at 60. Like I never have frame drops in this game.
Yep, me neither. I never have an issue. I'm really
glad everything's maxed out for me.
I'm really glad that you picked this up. Now I have somebody to play with this.
So. Yeah, I've always wanted it. The reason why I didn't buy it in the beginning is they had server issues. Classic Ubisoft. They had server issues, and then the game died. There was like at any given time there was like 900 people playing the game.
Yep.
So I was like, then they fixed it. They fixed the game up. And that's kind of been Ubisoft's go-to this year. Like, I look back at Rainbow Six, the game launched broken and terrible, and they fixed it. They fixed the game up, and now it's one of the best, esport shooters you can get in terms of FPS. So there's that too. So I mean, I was kind of waiting for this for a while because I was waiting for hopping over to Rainbow Six. They released what's called a starter pack. So it's $14.99. You buy the game. It's the full game. You can ignore all the DLC or you can buy the DLC if you want it. But effectively what they did was they said, okay, we're going to give you the whole game for $14.99. The only thing is we're going to increase the price of everything in the game you want to buy. So all the characters and all the cosmetics is, I think, increased by 5 or 10 times their regular value.
Okay.
So you just have to play the game to unlock characters. But you're like having different characters not necessarily a disadvantage. So like you're not like, oh, I'm at a disadvantage because I like kind of like in this game. Like if you were only stuck to having the top 3 characters, you're not really at a disadvantage. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of the same kind of feel. You're not at a disadvantage because you can't play these other characters. You might not have some of the cool shit, but you're not at a disadvantage. So they did that to people so a lot of people bought the game and it fixed the game. And it's really nice. At any given time, you can upgrade and buy the DLC and things like that and buy the characters. Just pay real money for the characters if you want it or whatever, right? So they did that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was waiting for them to do the same thing with this, because this is a good model for it. Like, giving you the top characters, 3 tokens to unlock any of the characters you want, and then all the other characters are like a times 10 price. Wouldn't be that bad. I would take it. Like, because right now, actually, the game's like that now, but they do it in a different way. Like, you don't need to buy the DLC. Like, my roommate doesn't have a DLC in the Xbox, and the characters to buy the DLC characters is 15,000 points.
Right.
So you can buy them. They're just 15,000 as opposed to 5,000. So they're 3 times more expensive.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. I like that they went that way. We said that, you know what, DLC is kind of like optional. You don't need it, but if you want, you can have it. But the full game went on sale with the DLC. I don't know if it's still on sale. It was on sale around Valentine's Day because, like I said, it came out on Valentine's Day. It came out and it was like $30 for that and the DLC. So I was like, I can't really complain. The game is still $60 on Steam regularly, so I was like, I can't complain. I think it's definitely a good game. I definitely think it's one of those games, though, you pick up on a sale.
Yeah. Yeah, don't make this mistake I did, man. I got it when it first came out, and because I figured, a lot of people are going to play this. And then, like you said, it kind of died off, and then it just sat in my Steam library forever and a day.
Yep, and then me rebuying it kind of like sparked you. Like, oh, yeah, I have this.
I was like, oh, Devin has I have this. And then I had to reinstall it because when I switched my computer over, I didn't re-download it because I was like, well, why download it if I'm not going to fucking play it? So now I got you play this. Our buddy Fur plays this. He has it as well. Yeah.
Oh, he does? Did he recently buy it, or did he always have it?
He's had it for a while, I guess. He was in this kind of same situation. Like, no one he knew played it. So, yeah. But anyway, awesome. So that's all I got for this. Any last comments here, Devin?
No, good.
No? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening. Devin, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You guys can find me on Twitter at DMP_Pookie and on Twitch at PooKilledMe.
And as always, you guys can find me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word. Also on Twitch at twitch.tv/DMWebby. I think that's the Twitch thing. I don't understand how websites work. So, yeah, until next time, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Facebook.com/simplyunprofessional. Give us a follow. And if you have any comments or suggestions for future topic ideas, give us either a Facebook message or an email at simplyunprofessional@gmail.com. So, until next time, everybody, fuck Booster Gold.
Fuck Booster Gold.
Hold on, I fucked up. There we go. No, I'm not gonna cut it either. Fuck it. there.